Maybe just go to,
Your page.
yeah, that's my business page on there, and my personal page is on there too. So, hello everybody. I'll go ahead and just start in a few minutes here. Get the colors right. Make sure that works and is good.
It's kind of dark, but
Kind of dark.
you can
Okay,
see
well,
it.
good we can. One viewer, which is you, which I like a lot. Okay, so welcome. I'm going to be doing a whole like three-part series here of kind of like the process of creation. I know it's a little dark on this screen. It's a little dark on that screen. Bear with me. If I don't yell loud enough, which doesn't ever seem to be a problem for me, let me know and I'll turn it up. This big whiteboard here is your life, my life, everyone's future that's coming. So what I'm going to go over is kind of my process that I use for creating every year, for creating my life. You can use this no matter what time of day or year this is. You can be able to process this and use this kind of step-by-step map to do so. And so today I'm going to go over this first four quadrants here are going to be quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, and quarter four of 2019. And then we're going to talk about where your life is currently, where you are currently, relationships, who you are as a person, also like your business, your customers, the current state of those. And then we're going to go next into who that is that will match up, like who you are, that avatar, that person that you'll be, that will match up to equal that year that you want, that experience, that feeling, that whole state. So that's really going to be the process. And then the third day, I'm going to go deeper into step by step how I do that, how I work on that. And I'll also be giving away some really cool worksheets that are part of the Way program, my new book, The Way Home. Karina, Jeff, a lot of people, Taylor, have helped me a lot with this kind of processing, putting it all together. We just did this ourselves for our year and our life and our business and everything. And so I shared it with a couple of friends and some clients, and people just kind of liked it, got excited about it. So I want to share that with everyone else as well. Am I sounding good on volume, on sound? I know it's dark, but if everything works out, I'll kind of get going. First, I'm going to dive into these first four quarters of the year. So this is 2019. And the year, I always like to also the year to leap. So I know it's hard to see. I'll be sending some of these, the pictures of it, screenshots of it. Anyone who watches this live, if you guys message us or anything, or have any questions at all, you can drop your email as well for the worksheets, or message for the worksheets, and I'll send screenshots of all of this as well once we're done here. But it'd be great if you guys can, if you have time, if you're able to, not driving, or if you're sat somewhere, grab out some notepads and pens, and then you can start writing little notes down as well. And then later do it, in bigger sticky notes if you want, whatever floats your boat on that. So the first part is, I always set the year and I set a theme of the year. I know that sounds pretty basic and that's what a lot of people do, but I think that sets your intention, that kind of your forward motion of what that year means. For this year, 2019 is leap. Previous years have been about leaning in, about like kind of making a jump, doing different things, stepping into it. This year is leap, and the reason I labeled it that for myself, and you can join that as well or do anything else you want for that, is because this is the year to quantum leap, to skip over the bullshit, to kind of cut out all the excess, the people that are not fit for you, let them go. Relationships, friendships, whatever, integrate who you are, integrate what you want, integrate the life you want, and then level up that, and everything else will come. Maybe those people will elevate themselves and join you. If not, let them have their own process, but it's kind of cut out everything. So part of the way is about eliminating to elevate. That's a big process for this, is just eliminating. It's not about adding to, or you have to be this incredible new version of this and change this and buy that and do this. It's about eliminating. What can I eliminate? What can I get rid of and remove so I can elevate and become the person I want to be? So 2019, the year to leap. We're going to first do the quarters. So I just put Q1, Q2, Q3, and then Q4. And so within each of these, we're going to talk about, like, instead of planning out the next 5, 10, 20 years, all these amazing things you want to do, we're going to simply just kind of go with what you're probably underestimating you can accomplish in a year. So how do you want to feel? What experiences do you want to have? What do you want to get done? What are the actions? What are the experiences? Like for me and Taylor, we're moving to Hawaii on January 15th. I've always wanted to live there. That's been my dream my whole life to live in Hawaii. So after traveling to Costa Rica and kind of going all over the place and traveling different places that I've lived, Seattle, California, tropical or cold or whatever, that's where I want to go. So mapping it out and saying, boom, I'm just going to jump. I'm going to leap. I'm going to do it. That's on there. And so what I always do is any of the actions, I put in red. You can color code this however you want. It just makes it easy for you to see. And I'll pull these down, and so they'll be complete behind this, so you can kind of see what that is behind it. But I wanted a fresh start with you guys. So, like in red, for example, I put actions, the color code on the side, and I say move to Hawaii. Okay. Now that's red because it's an action, it's something we're doing. But before that, there's a lot of things of like planning, like what do you have to plan to do, right? How do you situate? How do you coordinate that? So if maybe you want to move somewhere, maybe you don't, this could be a different kind of action. When you put that action, whether it's quarter 1 or it's quarter 2 or 3 or 4, go ahead before that and put your action on whatever quarter it is, whatever time, day of the year it is. And then we're going to go ahead before that and say, what are the action steps leading up to that? So just so you guys know a reference, I'm a big person on like combining the masculine and the feminine, on combining action and getting shit done, and also like allowing and receiving and like letting the universe do a lot of the heavy lifting. But when I was talking to this friend earlier that I had a podcast interview with, a big part of this is you need to push your order into the universe. So I know a lot of us want to say we need to allow and receive, and that's beautiful, and we do. But if we don't have any intention with it and we don't actually put the order out for what we want, the universe has no idea how to bring it to us. So prime example is moving to Hawaii. I had that intention for a long time, and I wanted that. I didn't know when or how or who or what or any of that. I just put it out there. And the more specific I got about it, the more concrete I got in myself, the more I built up who I wanted to be to live in that place, to not spoil paradise with someone that wasn't living who their paradise was. The more the universe conspired to make that happen. But I had to set that intention and then work backwards on action. So like getting a shipping truck container for the car, getting the stuff packed up. Like there's these actions beforehand that you have to kind of pre-plan the plan of action you're going to have. So that's for actions. Put those in red. Some other actions I'm going to throw on there just so you kind of see where those go. I know in quarter 2 we'll be going to Seattle. I know we'll be visiting Japan. And so like with the example of pre-planning your plans, is that really small?
Yeah, and it's hard for them to read.
Okay, so that says Seattle and Japan in really small letters, and you can't see it. But
we'll get close-ups.
Yeah, I'll get close-ups, and I'll also send screenshots and stuff too. So like these moves, right? Visiting Japan, for example, I can't just put that on there and then hope it works out. So in quarter 1, I can say, plan trip to Japan, buy tickets, right? Like buy tickets to Japan. There's different actions I can put on there. Japan has 1P, Corey, 1P. Japan, in case I don't know how to spell. So those are some actions, and I'll lay some more out. I know another one, just because I want to put this on there because it's a dream for me. Trip to the Maldives, just because it looks like Pandora with the Avatar water. I don't know if you've seen that, but Google Maldives or Maldives, or I'm probably saying that, butchering it, but America. But it's beautiful. I want to do it because I wish I was from Pandora as well. Next, I always like to do, we're going to do feelings, and we're going to do experiences. And so the feelings, you can do feelings, thoughts, and experiences. We're just going to keep it simple with these 3. I'm doing experiences in purple. I'm doing feelings in green. And so I always mark the little action area here, experiences, and then feelings. So with experiences, like what are some experiences? Obviously those trips are experiences. Those are amazing experiences. Those are things that I would like to experience, that we all would, but that's more of an action, like travel to, do this, that's an action step. The experiences though are prime example, wish I could flip this open here, but experiencing the look on your family's face when you pay off their mortgage, right? Or experiencing the joy in your kids' eyes, or their smile when they learn how to walk the first time, or anything like that. These are experiences. there's all these different things, or feelings as well, like feeling deep gratitude and connected to source and my higher self. These are all things that you can put on there as feelings and experiences to kind of connect that and put that forward. And I know, like for example, for quarter one, an experience that we're going to have is a retreat. So a retreat at the end of quarter one, that's transformational, I can spell, healing, plus a shit ton of fun. So that is, that's gonna be at the end of quarter one, and again, more quarters, right? Every quarter will probably have one, but that's the first one, right? So that's an experience. And then tracking back to like feelings, for example, let's see here. So right here is like, let's see, the appreciation and joy watching the sun rise in Hawaii. So that's a feeling and mixed with an experience. But I don't know if you guys are catching on to why I'm kind of doing that, is that the biggest part of not just manifesting, because I manifested since I was 12 years old. So since I was 12, you can ask my mom or anyone, verified family, friends. Since I was a kid, I would say I want this, or I'm excited about this, or I would manifest hot chocolate at middle school, and Gateway Middle School, or I would want a sandwich or these things, or whatever it was. And previously, before anyone who doesn't know me, owning a nightclub and a restaurant, a vodka brand, I wrote all those things down that I did at 23. I wrote those down when I was 17 in high school. I still parties, all these things, but I knew I wanted those things. And I would envision it, and they came true. The reason I bring that part up, though, is because I didn't think through what it felt like to own a nightclub, what it felt like to own a vodka brand, if it aligned with who I wanted to be, if it aligned with the relationships I wanted to have, if it aligned with the friendships I wanted to have. I have amazing people in my life that I've had my whole life, but because I didn't think that through, by the time I owned a nightclub, I didn't feel how I wanted to feel. Surprise, like doing drugs and partying and traveling, like it was fun. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad I got out of my system and didn't screw up my life at 40, or like 50 or something. But I didn't think about what that experience was. How would I feel? How would I act? How would I think? What would it do? Like that whole process. And we talked about even like a successful music career. If you want to be a superstar musician, that's great. But if you just slap up, be a multi-platinum superstar musician, that may come along with a heroin addiction, as we've seen numerous times, because you didn't process who that person was and what that life was and how much money that was, and how much attention and fame and joy and the creation process, and then what you would do when you had that and who you would become. So you get it, you win the lotto or whatever, or you hit the jackpot of being a musician, and then all of a sudden you're like, and you become a drug addict, right? Or whatever those things may be. And so, or ruin relationships, family, health, all these different things that happen. So we kind of intertwine all those on here because what comes next after you add a bunch of these, and I'll kind of pare this down and show you the next ones. What comes next after that is having our current life, our current self, current life, current customers, current business, and then going on to who that person is we're going to become. So I'm going to jot these down so you kind of see, if you can read the writing yet, what I'm talking about. But we're going to say current.
Just write as big as you can.
A little bit bigger, right?
Yeah.
Avatar, which is you, okay? And then we're going to say current finances, and then current customer, and then current business. So even if you could see this, you probably couldn't read it because my handwriting is garbage. But what it says up here, just so you know, is that it says current avatar, which is you, who you currently are, and then current finances, current customer, like who your customer avatar is, and then your current business. And so after we map out this amazing dream, like you have your dream home, you have your dream relationship, right? You have your dream health. Your body is in this state of perfection for you. your mental, emotional, energetic, physical, everything for your life, inner and outer, is everything you want. This entire dream year you're about to create. And like I mentioned on Facebook a few times, if you read it or not, thinking of New Year's Eve instead of this resolution type thing, thinking of more like the diet yo-yo thing we talked about, where people go on these cleanses and then they like they jump into better health, they jump into better whatever, they do the resolution, and then all of a sudden, like 30 days of that, it's like, I can't anymore, and then they go binge something garbage, emotionally, physically, whatever, and shift it. So thinking of this as like a portal you're going to step through into a higher, newer dimension, a new reality of that self you're going to be and that life. What we have to do in order to do that is eliminate to elevate, right? So we have to look at the entire dream you want, dream life, every single thing inside out, whether that's get married, whether that's your home, your life, everything, your finances, all that on there, and feel the experience of it, see the experience of it, feel the emotions of it, see the actions of it, all that broken down. Even if it seems impossible, just map out everything that is beyond what you're capable of perceiving right now. And then going through the current model of the self and the life, right? You can really diagnose, number one, where you're at, an honest look at everything. And then also, you get to see the difference between that year and this life you're about to have coming up, where you're at now. And if this person matches that, then boom, you're good. If who you are here in your business and life and everything matches that, then cool, you're good. Then you can just go through follow those actions. For a lot of us, and I know people that are still, their current self doesn't match the next level they're going to. Same financially, I have people that are making $100 million a year, that if they want to do what they're doing next, even if it's not financial or it's someone else in life, there's a part of them that has to up level. So when we see this, we see what we can adjust. And again, not about becoming better or improve. There's no shame and guilt allowed in any of this. All this is what can we eliminate? And a lot of that is shame and guilt. A lot of that is beliefs. A lot of that is all of that, which we're going to go deeper into coming up in some of the worksheets about removing these identities that are literally blocking us, weighing us down into this previous life. Were you going to say something on there? Okay, cool. Anything in comments that I'm not? Okay. Am I yelling at anyone's face yet? Am I good? Okay, loud enough? All right, cool. Thank you for your help. So when you get an honest look, so when I talk about avatar, so we'll go into that self real quick. So your current avatar, for example, you're going to talk about the mental, the emotional, the physical, and first is actually spiritual. So, sorry, excuse me there. Okay. And then you can dive too into the relationships, friendships, and then finances. Obviously, we're going to go into finances below, but you can go into finances as well. And so this is all in all the worksheets. So I'll be giving them out to everyone, so there's no you won't miss it. But if you can write those down, it'd be good to just get a brief start on it at least, and then as we get ready for the next one tomorrow, you'll have more of this filled out, and we'll kind of unlock and keep going, unlock the way and keep going through the whole thing. But everything coming from the spiritual, like consciousness from the spiritual aspect of life, flows through. And you have that mental plane, you have the emotional plane, you have the physical plane. And so that projection of consciousness, that reality that's coming through and flowing through you, when you tap into the current avatar, like where am I in connection with that higher self, that higher state, that spiritual realm? Where am I in connection with that? What does that look like? Where am I in my actions, my thoughts, my feelings, my reality, my daily task with that, or relationship with that? Where am I with my mind, my thoughts? How am I thinking? Is my mental state, my mental mind kind of staying stagnant at a certain level, or are there a lot of repetitive negative thoughts, or like these false little, we call the little eyes in the way, or these little egos, little personalities we have? Instead of just having that one personality, that one ego, we actually have these multiple variations of identities we're kind of attached to that kept us stuck, or kept us safe as kids, but keep us stuck as adults, and as we grow older and wiser and can keep moving and evolving forward. So you can see that mental stream of thought, like where is that at, and how am I thinking? Where am I, the health of my thoughts? Same with your emotional state. Are you majority of the time throughout your day feeling lighthearted and joyous and free and in love or happiness, or are there and when sadness or pain come up, you feel them and process and like move on and continue forward, or is it reverse? Is it mainly fear and pain and suffering and all those brief moments of happiness, and hopefully not from a random substance or person or something that just like bursts through. And so you kind of just elevate. And even if it is those things, like there's no judgment here. So even if you are on anything or do anything or positive, negative, wherever you're at, like there's literally zero judgments with me, anyone else. That's the whole point of this, is that all those identities, we judge ourselves, we become the prisoner and the guard. So this whole prison cell in the mind and the emotional state, we're the only ones kind of facilitating the guarding of that while also being the prisoner. And so we're just going to kind of help eliminate those things. But to eliminate them, we have to be able to address them. So same with the physical body, are we treating it with love and kindness and feeding it what it needs, nourishing what it needs, or are we not? And I had a fat burger last night, so I'm like, I'm not perfect. It was delicious, and then I felt like the garbage I am for eating it, just joking. But yeah, it was disgusting. So, and then relationships, friendships, finances, like, where are my friendships at? Where are my relationships at? And again, this is something that as you start to see this, what's going to happen is you're going to say, okay, I like that, I don't like that, I like that, I don't like that, or I feel good, I feel good. All those preferences, write those down and kind of catalog those things for your life, for the year, for whatever last time you did this, if ever, your whole life then. But instead of going to that super kind of like, feeling right away, just see it, or if you're excited, be grateful, that's fine, but just kind of see all those things and not attach to them. And then from there, you're going to get you a space of like the in-between, right? And you want to honor that space in between. You want to honor where you were, where you're going, who you were, who you're going to become. That space in between, we're going to fill with the new that's coming. And so you'll start to kind of remove those things, just as an FYI. Same thing with current finances. Current finances are going to be something that, is there debt, right? Is there debt? And again, no judgment, because if you're feeling like judgment about debt for now, it's probably because you're personally in a debt, or you're personally, there's credit card bills. Like I've racked up $7,000 in Nordstrom before. So like I'm no like savior with that, but I've also like been debt free for a while. And like there's all kinds of ways that when you're a business, it's actually good to have debt. When you're leveraging, right, for debt for a purpose for moving forward, it's a good thing. So just objectively take, look at the emotions you're feeling around even the debt you have or even the thought of debt, and then kind of write that down as well. Kind of journal that objectively, look at that. Or are you debt free? And feel joy about that. And then, like, is there savings or zero savings or whatever, investments or anything, in there, and just kind of like take a look at that, right? And then also like, income, like where is the income coming from? Right? Like, is it from a job? Is it from contract work? Is it from, freelancing? Is it consistent, or is it up and down the roller coaster, yo-yo? We're just kind of looking at all that because you can identify your money blueprint. You can identify like that whole kind of thermostat. Like T. Harv Eker talks about the thermostat of your finances, which is true for all of life. But if you have like your thermostat for your money set at 72 degrees, which could equal $50,000 a year, or $100,000 a year, or $200,000 a year, and the window gets open, the cold air is going to blow out. The cold air is going to blow out, and what's going to happen is it's going to drop to 65, so you're going more broke, right? And then the thermostat will kick in, it'll even it out, you'll go right back up to $50,000 or $100,000 or $1 million, whatever it is, and you'll stay there. Same thing is if it gets too hot, is if you make more money than that, you make $1 million or $2 million, or $50,000 or $100,000 or $500,000 or $5 million, whatever your thing is, you go above your thermostat, your conscious, unconscious thermostat will go in and adjust and heat it up, which, cool it down, which will bring it down, which means you'll automatically spend the money, you'll throw it away, you'll find a way to lose it on a bad investment, you'll donate it, you'll get in a bad accident or lose a job or whatever. We have these things in all areas of life that we feel our comfort in. We feel love, we feel accepted, we feel respect, we feel family, we feel friends. We feel all those things because that is where our thermostat's at. And so just write these things down, again, be objective, and then figure out that, because once you know where it's at, you can see, okay, I like that I have income coming in every month. That feels good. I like that, I have the job I have, or the position I have, or the company I own, or I'm an entrepreneur, so I have a certain position, and I love being in flow and being an artist and creating, but I don't like the inconsistency of the income. Just kind of objectively be able to see that so you can go to the next thing, right? And then same with the current customer. Like, is the customer like who you want to serve, right? Who you want to serve, right? And then like, is it your ideal customer? There's so many missing letters in this. There's so many missing letters. I'm glad you guys aren't super close, so it looks a little bit blurry. I'll just say it's because of the distance that you can't tell what the words are. ideal customer are, do they make you happy? Do you make them happy? Are you serving them at the highest level, or is it like, hey, this is good money right now? Are they serving you at the highest level? So that's the same. That's the other side of this. Is so it's so we've been programmed and trained, and not this isn't blanket for every single person on the planet, right? So if you're like not me, not me, not me, first of all, probably look at that. Second of all, if you're not, then cool. Like help join the way, help us teach everyone else, because I would love to have you on. But like a lot of us, and we have this whole paradigm shift of I am here to do a job or have a company or have an offer or a value exchange, right? This energetic value exchange of money that we all preach as like spiritual thought leaders. It's an exchange of, it's not. No, like you are here to serve and you are here to get served, right? Like serve, not serve, but get service from the thing you're serving, the person you're serving. It should make you feel so much joy and so like feel so alive. Like when I'm speaking and helping and coaching and doing talks or interviews or writing books or whatever, I feel super excited. Like when I talk about strategy and things, and like, and to anyone close to me, I can go ham for no reason about the simplest thing that could have been better at a company for no reason. And it's like, they don't really care, and I don't really care, but I feel the need to care, which has helped me because when I'm in business, and most of my business calls or like coaching calls or companies I'm a part of creating or launching or scaling, I get really excited about it. I love seeing how we can put it together. I love like seeing the joy of people when they're releasing something and going, oh my God, that's possible. And going, so it makes me come alive. Not only do I get rewarded financially, but emotionally, energetically, and mentally. And so that's the kind of business we're going to try to move to. And it doesn't mean you have to stop everything you're doing or restart, but just know that it's not about you have to just do this for money or do that. And it's not a judgment either if you are, but understand that that's possible. Like you can literally have anything you want. I haven't learned to fly yet, but I will at some point. So okay, same thing, current business. So like, so this is the what are you doing? And then like how are you serving? Right? And I know I might be going through this kind of fast right now for a live stream. Maybe everyone just watching and not writing everything down. But again, just so you know, I will be like tomorrow. We'll go through a brief thing all over again, the remix, all over again about this, and then further in detail, deeper. And then again, there's going to be a third video on Sunday if you want to join that, and worksheets throughout every single day. And you can always communicate. You can also join Unlock the Way, the Facebook group. We can talk about it more and dive deeper. There's plenty of content, and a big part of what the new kind of shift for me is I'm giving so much away. Not as like a bait and switch thing, but like literally, here's everything. If you want to join us for like support and do it together, this is what it is for the business. Everything else I want everyone to have, and I think we all agreed on that as kind of a new model. So that way you can take it, run with it. So don't feel like you're going to miss anything, or if it's going too fast, like it's not going to be there, because it will be as well. So, so moving from the current avatar, current finances, current customer, to current business, you're going to go to let's see. How do I want to put that? So like new avatar, just still small writing. This is you. And then this is financial freedom number. Boom. And then your customer dream avatar. And then business by design. So business by design. Let me get a new marker real quick. So that is, huh? Is this red? No, maybe purple. Purple? Let's try purple. Okay. So see how this looks. So the reason this comes after, obviously, and so when it comes to this is the part where you're now going to say, okay, let me look at my dream life, right? Let me look at everything I want to do on here, everything I want to create, I want to feel, I want to think, all of the kind of the activities, experiences, trips, family, friends, all these things, to have that year to make, to make whatever your dream income is, to live wherever you want to live, to travel as much as you want to travel, to have the family, the friends, all the things you want to do. What does that look like? And so that's what we're going to do on this side, is kind of design that. So who is the person? Excuse me. Who is the person that is going to equal that life, that year, that experience? Who is that person? And so besides these, like the spiritual, mental, emotional, physical side, like all of this over here, you can take that and put it here as well. But then you're going to say, like, you're going to identify you. And so this can come up with literally character traits, hair, like body, style. I'll send you guys some examples of this. I did this before, and literally whatever I am right now was from a few years ago, and it was literally just me creating. Is it a good comment? Okay. Just being me. So you want to like literally design everything. So like how would that you feel, think, act, talk, walk? Like what does that whole thing look like? And that whole person, right? Who is that avatar? Who is that person? Like who is the person that does that? So that's all that. Identify everything. How would you think? How would you feel? What would your friendships be like? Even if you feel like, okay, if you have no correlation to that, it doesn't matter. You can still become that very easily. Like when I designed, like 2017, 2018 Corey Gladwell, or Corey S. Gladwell is the brand. Because Corey Gladwell is a whole different person I won't get into. But when I designed that, it was like 2014, 2015. I started building that, and then living on the beach, flying everywhere, like the crazy thing, haircut, faux hawk, spiky guy, which I'm changing again. All of that was, like body type, my style, my emotional state, my activities. Like even on this, like we have what we've been doing already, but like adding to like meditation. Just gonna add that on there so I don't forget. Yoga. Some of these simple things that you can add in daily, or you can add in weekly, or however they feel fit. Journaling, writing books. I'm publishing the Way Home book. I forgot, which is pretty much this as well. But yeah, so identify everything, right, down to every single action. Like, and then think through experiences. How would that person show up? Like, if you were to get a multiple $1 million business, or the love of your life came into your life right now, or let's say you do want to have kids, and that you knew that was going to come in 9 months or 10 months, I guess, or a year or 2 years or whatever. Or if you knew you were going to inherit, like Ernest Holmes has this great thing like about this $5 million inheritance that this guy said he was going to get. He get this letter about this $5 million inheritance. He's like, I'm going to get this inheritance. It's going to be great. And he fully believed it. And so he was like, okay, so who do I have to become to have that $5 million inheritance? And he started acting like he started running every day, eating better, talking, like walking like it, just showing up as that person. And then a year later came, and the cool part was the inheritance wasn't real. It was a letter. It was just someone wrote that. There was no inheritance. It never existed. But by the time that year came, he had made $5 million. And so that's kind of the thought process here. It's not about just like act as if, or like the hope and praying, or just like, beg for something or anything, but it's about being able to shift yourself to match that life. You can call it frequency, energetics, whatever you want to call it, but just showing up. Because the biggest secret to the law of attraction secret is that like how you think and how you feel will create what's called a state of being, which if it's combined long enough will create a belief system. And if you believe something long enough, you actually start acting and walking and talking and doing those things as that. And then those actions will cause you to have or not have the life that you desire. So if you start thinking, feeling, and acting at that life, you're just going to match up. You're going to equate it. You're going to equal it. You're going to go into it, and you're going to walk into it. And so that's happened more and more with me as well, like some of the other companies that I'm part of, just because of showing up, just as just who I am and that person that have wanted to be in, and I'm allowing through. And then same thing with the financial freedom number. So this is something that I've done a lot at masterminds, and I'm gonna move this a little bit over there. So I've done this a lot at masterminds, and telling people, because we all, when we're like at a level of broke, or next to broke, or America, we have negative broke a lot, but still have Starbucks, which is weird. And so when we're at that level, like 10 grand a month is like, I remember if I was like, I just 10 grand a month, I was like, okay, cool. If I can do that, and I knew that was consistent, like I'm set. And again, I still love 10 grand a month. I'll take it any day of the week. It's amazing. I love it. But at the same token, every time I've gotten to 10 grand a month, I was like, 20 grand or 30 grand a month would be good. And then I get there, I'm like 50 grand a month is really, and then you get, then it's like 100 grand. And then that friends 100 grand, we got them to $1 million a month. And then they're at $1 million a month, and they're like, we need 10 million a month. And again, not that that's a problem, because it's okay to make as much as you want, as high as you want. Like some of our goals are a couple $100 million this year for one of the companies. And so I have no problem wanting to allow that to happen, but I have to do worksheets that are coming that you guys will get and figure out what it is in me that is kind of blocking that to allow that to come, number one. And then number two, what I had to identify was, why do I think I need to have 100 grand a month or $1 million a month? What does that life look like? And for example, entrepreneurship, if you want to net 100 grand a month, you need to gross about $260,000 a month, which means you have to have this person, that person, this company, that person, and like a whole entire staff of people, plus make sure the taxes are good. All this, is that really what you want? Or do you just want what you feel like you're going to get from that 100 grand a month, which is all this amazing joy and happiness and fun and playful? And then you can start to address that and figure out what your financial freedom number is. So a good way to outline this is just stretch your mind and say, you know what, I'm going to do my perfect day of play and fun without worrying about the money, right? I'm going to have, or we're going to have, because we're already in motion of doing this, a private chef cook 2 meals per day, okay? Meditation, yoga, skydiving. I might be alone in that one, but I don't know. Find out. Skydiving, play at the beach. Oh, I forgot, morning massages. Like massages, so like obviously like that's not this crazy. It's pretty amazing, honestly, I'll be honest. But it's not as insane as I could go, because I think if you're watching this, you may know me a little bit or a lot. I could go a lot wilder than that. But yeah, so like, and then, or like play at the beach at the house, right? So like, let's say the house is on the beach. Anyways, you just figure this perfect day, and then round it out to a month. Like, you're going to spend, $5 grand a month on food, which is like amazing, fresh food, private chef, a couple times a day or whatever, or like, whatever. Skydiving, you're going to massages every day. You don't have to skydive every day, but, I've never done it, so why not?
Just experience.
Yeah, just experiences. Like, how does that day go? Like, you wake up, you stretch, you're feeling good, you're like, doing yoga, meditation, amazing food, amazing day. You have your calls with your friends, your clients, or whatever you play. Just like, where's that? How, like the house you want? Is it $2 grand a month, $1,500 a month, $15,000 a month? I don't think it has to be this extravagant thing. It can be if you want. If that's freedom to you, that can be your thing. Maybe your financial freedom number is 100 grand a month net. Maybe that's you. For me, I did all this stuff on like an amazing house, beachfront, like on the water in Hawaii, massages every day, yoga, workouts, fresh food all the time, like all these, like the shopping. I think I put like, $6 grand a month in random shopping because I like movies and clothes and, like a couple grand a month in donating, just to donate and give away and share charities, $3,000 a month in investing, all this stuff. It ended up being about $21,000 per month, right? Yeah, and that's for me and Taylor. So that was like if we're both, that's like $10,500 a person, which is, I don't know, it feels way under budget for me, but I'll try to stick to it. But it's not that insane, right? And that's like pretty amazing freedom, right? And there's like a good 7,000 that's just complete excess that. in there that doesn't need to be in there, but I want in there, you want in there. We don't have to do that. So that can go up or down, right? So you just kind of map that out. What that means though is not just that's how much money we want to make per month in total. That's how much we want to make after taxes, after expenses, after employees, after consultants, after freelancers, after everything, right? So we can play with that. Now that can cover bills as well, like food and mortgage, just those kind of things. But what's cool about that is when you just identify that, that can be again 21,000. It can go 50,000. It can go, that can be 7,000, right? You figure out what that number is for you to have that freedom, and it's not as far as you think it is. Even if it feels far right now, it's really not. And so once you do that, you're able to kind of coordinate and organize everything else in your business around that. So now you go down to your dream customer avatar and your business by design, and you look at your current customer, right, and your current business. And if you have that ideal customer and that ideal business and everything's flowing, then just, cool, scale up to the number you want to have. This is your excess and play. And then, make sure you're the new avatar you want to have, design your year. If you don't, and I think we all can use semi-improvements on that, because what I found with almost every business owner I've talked to, there's these like good, amazing handful of dream, ideal customers that we have and situations and experiences with them that we feel like we're serving the best and we feel like we're doing the most with them and they're getting the most out of it. And then there's like a good chunk that come and it's like, cool, this drives the business. And not that it has to be perfection all the time, every day, all day, but it can be. And this is how you do it. So when you design your dream customer avatar, and I'll have, again, a worksheet on every single one of these has a worksheet. So don't feel like there's not, if you write it down right now, but there's so many cool questions I'll put in there that you can really nail it down to exactly what you're trying to do. A little hint, what I've found for most of my dream customer avatars, being an entrepreneur, is that it's some version of who I used to be that I want to help get to where I am. That could be in any form of business, health, wellness, finance, anything, inventions, tech, whatever. Usually we're making something or creating something or growing something to help us in some way, or who we used to be, pull us along. Even if that's not true for you, the worksheet will help you identify that. But the biggest part of this is like, who are they? Just like you did your avatar, you want to, who are they? Name them. Like it could be, this could be Jim, and he's, I don't know, 36. This sounds like this is going to go sideways for me, but this could be for you maybe. Someone out there's like, Jim is my favorite client. 36, income is, $85K a year, right? And then you have like, I don't know, Cynthia, who's, 38, income is like 125 a year. So I'm just trying to give some references, name them, their age, their income bracket, and then like what books do they read? Who are their favorite authors? What YouTube series do they watch? The videos? What are their favorite magazines, Facebook pages, places to travel? Who do they want to become? Who do they love? Who do they like? Who is that? And so as you start to unravel that more and more, what you're going to be able to do is see that you can find out deeper truths to them. So you go deeper, go further. You'll find out like what keeps them up at night. What's their greatest fear? And you start to think as if you're them. And so because the thing with marketing is, and thanks for bearing with me on my scrambled thoughts here, but the thing with marketing is that it hasn't changed ever. In case anyone didn't know that. Marketing itself, the core basics, fundamentals of marketing have been around since the beginning marketing ever started, which was probably like the third person that existed. Someone was trying to sell someone something, someone was trying to buy something, there was like a third person who was like, you know what, I could market these things for you, and that's marketing, however long ago that was. So marketing, the core has not changed. What's changed is the technology, the systems, the way we go about delivering the marketing or helping or all those kind of things, but marketing itself hasn't changed. And so the number one core thing that I read in a freaking book a long time ago that I can't remember is, that someone said, is true marketing, the genius marketing is being able to think the thought inside your customer's mind without them ever saying out loud before they even know they're going to have it. So that's Dobbs, everybody. You see that's Dobby, the dog we're watching. Hi, Dobby. Say hi to the camera. Here you go. So He's been with us all week. So that is the biggest thing, is be able to think that thought. So when you do the customer avatar worksheet, you know, you can find out their name, their age, you're trying to create this person, and you go deeper, like what that fear is, that dream, that hope, that excitement, that passion. Where do they want to be? Who do they want to go go to? Who do they want to become? What's their dream idea of business? What's their dream life? You start to build that up, and then also make sure it's somebody that again matches your dream. Like you think through and experientially, like think about you being in service to that person, like who you're serving, right? Who you're serving is the person that makes you feel like you're doing service. So, and paying you at the same time. So the point of saying it that way is like when you go volunteer and you feed the homeless. We just did some New Year's Eve, or sorry, Christmas Eve. I just did like Santa Claus. She did Mrs. Claus, and we did this whole, giving toys away to kids that couldn't afford them. And that wrote letters to Santa, and we read the letters, and this whole cute little thing. And when you think of that feeling of service, there's moments where I was like frustrated, sweating, the outfit didn't fit, I was annoyed as shit. It happens. But but when the kids get excited, when you're handing the kid like a gift they actually wanted, and they're pumped about it, and we had this house full of these one kids that were there. There was like 5 or 6 of them. You could tell it was like a mixed family of like a bunch of different like cousins, aunts, uncles, like parents, step-parents, and there's all these kids there. And it's Christmas Eve, and they run to the door, and they see Santa and Mrs. Claus, and they have the letter that they wrote, they requested, and you start handing the gifts that they want. I think it was like a, I don't know what it was. It was Despicable Me Minion toy. And he grabbed it, and he was like, yeah, he screamed joy. That moment of joy, you're being in service. We're serving in a place of service for that kid, and bringing that kind of joy to you, to see that, the eyes light up, the excitement, that's the feeling you want to have with this ideal customer. It's seeing that life come alive, that excitement, whatever you're serving them. If it's supplements and nutrients, if it's fitness and health and transformation, if it's coaching and personal development, or if it's business and building a business, or if it's a product or service, and you're seeing that product or service kind of scale up more and then get the results of it, that's the feeling you want to have while being paid for it. Like, so many of us have this mindset of a job that it's just over broke. I have to be stressed. If I don't work hard and feel like shit, I didn't earn the money that I get. And that is like, there's so many things that unravel there, which again, worksheets, you'll get them. But think of that customer that you would feel great serving, that you would love if they called you tomorrow, called you tonight after this live stream, or called you tomorrow. Every day you got a call from some amazing dream customer. They're like, hey, how that call would go, how the feeling would go, how the interaction would go. That's your dream customer, okay? The reason it's important to start with that is because now you have the business by design. Once you know your dream customer, if you're in business, if you are just going to start a business right now, if you're at a job and you want to start a business, if you're already have a company, a product, service, whatever, once you understand this fully and deeply, then this is the easy part. Now you can either design a business from scratch, or you can restructure your whole business, or you can do whatever it is to build this business by design. So you can have the hours you want to work, the system you want to work, the one-to-many ratio, the one-on-one, if that makes you feel better. We're adding the retreats in, obviously, because that's something that I love doing. She loves doing, all my business partners love doing. Like, it's so much fun and so much joy to do all of this in a beautiful, private, like island space with ocean and like massages and yoga and everything I just described up here. That's all part of the retreat, with chefs feeding us and like people doing all kinds of massive healing in every single type of form, all our processing worksheets, and having fun and relaxing and building our businesses and our joy. That's what I want to do. That's what I do anyway. That's what all my business partners and everyone wants to do. So that's why I do the retreats. So that's the business by design. Like, how can you structure that business and create that around the avatar you love serving, that hits your financial freedom number, that this new avatar of you loves and enjoys, which then creates, boom, the life you want, the year you want. And so, I'm long-winded. So I'm going to stop for a sec because I need some water, and I'm tired of hearing me. And yeah, it's almost an hour. And then I was going to say Q&A. So if any questions that either someone has asked already, babe, or if there's any questions that anyone has, feel free to ask. We're going to go continue this. Obviously tomorrow we're going to review this all over again, and then we're going to, like, not all over again, as long as it was, no stress there. But we're going to kind of review that and catch up and talk about how to get from where your dream life is, right? All of this, like write down every quarter, every experience, every feeling, everything, to the new avatar with the financial freedom number to afford that life for fun, be that person, have a dream customer, have a dream business. And the distance is from there is this, from there to here is the current, current avatar, current finances, current customer, and current business. And again, it's not about that you're wrong or bad or not enough. It's about we have a lot of excess. And the last thing I'll say about this before I actually do take questions is, if there are any, is think of this as an onion. This reality, this world, yourself. At the core of who you are is God. The core of who you are is Source, the ultimate, the one. That's it, the pure beingness of all. There's no label. There's not even an I am. There's just it. Around that, around God is this essence we call a soul or a consciousness, whatever you want to call that. Around that is this I of who you are. Around that, and then around that is an identity you have, or the false I. Most of us are living from a false identity, from a non-real, non-existent thing. We're making decisions and judgments and all these different things from this out here, this onion. So why I say that is because all we're going to do to get from where you are to where you want to be, from who you are to who you want to be, is not fix you. There's no self-help. Trying to fix myself kept me broken. There's no you got to be better or change or anything like that. We're going to peel those layers off. We're going to allow you to just kind of peel that onion back so you can get back to the true core of who you are, allow that to flow through, eliminate so you can elevate and have everything you ever wanted. So, were there any questions? Yeah, no questions? Okay. Anyone has any questions, let me know. If you want to message afterwards, you can. If not, if not, let me know in the messages. Tomorrow, again, we're going to go over all that, the distance there, how to close that gap. And then over here, these 6 blocks, there's some already can't quite see over there. We're going to go into the exact step-by-step plan and kind of process, which I've used, which my business partners have used, my clients have used, my friends have used, family, to do all that by yourself, with us, however you want. It is the 12 chapters in the Way Home book, my 4th book coming out within the next month and a half. It is the 12 modules inside of the Way program that we'll be releasing as well the end of this year, beginning of next year. It is the 12 weeks to a complete shift in who you are, and also that lands on the retreat that I'll be hosting with my babe and my business partners as well. And that's kind of that thing we're going to be doing is just, hey, here's all of it, and then instead of just dump it on you, we'll give you all the worksheets, everything, but then here's what I do, and here's how I do that, and breaking all that down, what that looks like step by step, week by week, module by module, chapter by chapter, and then we kind of just do that every single quarter to keep up-leveling, keep elevating, evolving, and freeing ourselves to everything we want. So that's what's after that on day 3.
And you send them snapshots and everything?
Yeah, and so I'll send some snapshots of these, some workshots. I'll send some snapshots of these. I'll also send some worksheets if you want those as well. For tonight, there's a couple that I'm going to send tonight if anyone wants them. I can put them in the comments, or I can email them as well if you want. That you can start on now as far as kind of developing some of these things, and then we'll go in tomorrow about eliminating, right? The eliminating the gap and instead of changing who you are, just allowing that true self to come through. And then I'll get more worksheets the next day as well as we build that. So yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I love you. I'm excited for you guys to be on here, and I appreciate all the support. And thank you, Taylor, for being so amazing. Thank you, Dobbs, for interrupting. You spotlight stealer. Get enough attention as it is, Dobbs. Love you guys. Thanks. Yeah, message any questions you have. If not, again, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific, Saturday, and then again, Sunday, 6 p.m. Pacific, Saturday. And I will leave these up for a little bit as well while we're doing this, so you guys can reference or rewatch anything. Message if you want any of the worksheets, email or just messenger, give them to you.
And if they do it, then you can take some of them live.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. So too, yes, thank you for the reminder. If anyone does the worksheets or does any of this stuff, and you guys have questions or concerns or things or whatever that is, And you actually do some of the worksheets. You have something to work with besides just like talking about everything. Tomorrow, tomorrow's live, I will be taking some, like 1 or 2 or 3 or even more people on and be able to work with them one-on-one live on the live and go through the worksheets. And you'll see what that looks like in real time, whether it's you or someone else. Maybe do the worksheets. You can be one of the people. If you don't want them to know who you are, you don't have to either. But if you're open to that, that's cool too. And we'll do it live either way on here. And we're going to actually break through and allow people to see the blocks, allow people to see the identities, allow people to see these thoughts and feelings and actions and experiences that are actually limiting them from, with that onion to that false identity and blocking them from having everything they want. And so we'll do that real time. And if you want to be one of those people, that'll be awesome. Love to have you on and love to work with you on it. And then follow up on Sunday. We'll continue to build that. So let me know. And if not, I'll see you tomorrow. Love you guys. Thanks.